Glad you're back for this last segment of Public Affairs on Peach as we look ahead to 2018. At this point, there's a lot of uncertainty about a lot of things, tax reform, health care costs, and more. So, Manka, tell us your advice looking ahead. People are thinking, what am I supposed to do? What do you advise them to do?
Well, I think the key thing here, there is a lot of uncertainty, but the key is to be proactive. And there's certain things that we can control and there's certain things that we can't control. It's a lot of times it's hard to control legislation and what's going to come out with the tax reform. However, I say if you are talking to the right individuals, getting the right advice from your financial advisor, your CPA, that's the key, and do your own research and be ready.
And Andrew, looking ahead at the proposed tax reform, how do you think that will affect small businesses, middle class households? What are they going to see?
Well, obviously a lot is yet to come. We have two tax reform plans that are passed now, one in the House, one in the Senate. Drastic differences between the two. They're going to go back to conference committee, come together. I foresee that middle class and small businesses, and depending on how the tax brackets and the rates shake out, that a lot of them will be impacted negatively. As I've been saying the whole time along, that I've been forecasting since January, tax reform will pass. It's virtually a must for the GOP, but this is not the tax reform that people were expecting, and I think there's going to be a lot of surprises come January when the tax reform passes. But people need to be proactive. So as soon as we know what we're going to have to work with for 2018, sit down with your financial advisor, like Manka said, your accountant, figure out where you're at. If you're a small business owner, how do you benefit from the system, right? I call it a system because basically that's what it is. And if you're a middle class household, if you have children, if you don't have kids, if the standard deduction changes, those are things you have to plan for. You can't wait to come see a guy like me next December or in 2019. At that point, you're out of luck.
Minute apiece, tell me one or two things you think people should, really good advice for viewers interested in, seeing where they will be next year.
I can write a dissertation on this, but I think that the number one thing I want people to take away from this is look at your savings as an expense. Don't look at your savings as a line item that is discretionary when you're doing your financial plan. Number two, determine your goals and see what it's going to take for you to accomplish that. Okay? So what I will leave you with, a goal without a plan is just a wish. So prioritize and make sure you take out the time to determine what you want to accomplish, because you're going to be more likely to get there if you do.
I love it. Andrew, for you, two pieces of advice.
For me, you got to plan early in the year always, whether it's election year, tax reform year or not, and don't become complacent with where you're at. That basically will come back to bite you a lot of times. If it starts off good, that doesn't mean that it's going to end up well, so always check in with your financial advisor, your tax accountant, and make sure you're a step ahead of the game.
But what do you mean by that? If you don't be complacent, do you just want more, expect more?
Well, no, don't be content with where you're at, and think that just because it's good today that it's going to be good tomorrow or good a year from now. So you've got to basically evaluate your situation. Just because you had a good year in the market or a good year tax-wise doesn't mean that the next year is going to bring the same thing.
Good points. Always be looking ahead to what could happen. And as we wrap it all up, put a bow on it, getting ready for Uncle Sam for next year, are people ready? Do you think they're ready?
Personally, no. I think there's going to be drastic changes with tax reform. It's going to catch a lot of people by surprise. Some good, some bad, but I think we're in for an exciting and eventful 2018.
I think that definitely our clients are ready, and I want to make sure, that we've helped some individuals who are watching today.
I need to work with both of you. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. Some very good information there. And thank you for joining us for this special edition of Public Affairs on Peach. Be sure to like Public Affairs on Peach on Facebook. There we post our upcoming episodes and ask for all of your feedback. That's it for this week's edition, Public Affairs on Peach. We hope to see you back here next Sunday morning. But until then, get those receipts together. You can never start getting ready for tax time too early. Have a great one, everybody.